I've got your deal, B, right? I found a better deal. If you're in sales, I know you've heard it. You probably hear it every week. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to successfully handle that objection and close your sale today.
Hi guys, I'm Grace Lupoi and I'm here with David Lowe, the automotive sales coach. And today we're working through a new series touching on these tough situations that sales consultants face every single day, right? Let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah. So, this prepare to win is all about giving you the principles, the tips that it takes to really win at work, at selling, and in life, right? To be better today than yesterday. And over these last times, I've really enjoyed it, bringing a lot of those foundational principles that everyone, I don't care if you're in sales or not, can really think, this will improve my life if I could live like this. So, right. And of course, principles aren't something we made up. Principles are natural laws that always existed. And what we need to do as people is learn them and apply them to our life where it fits. Well, where it fits at work or where it fits at home, right? So It's been really great to build that foundation. And so this next few episodes, about 10 episodes in a row, we're going to kind of take the direction of saying, we know a lot of you are sending questions, asking questions. Hey, I'm facing this. What do I do? Right? There are some tough situations out there, and we're going to help give you a game plan. I've been doing this 38 years. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing new. Now, there's the internet has replaced newspapers, but buyers' fears are the same.
Right.
The buyer's 4 questions they have to answer before they buy are the same, and the 3 fears they have to overcome are the same, right?
Right.
So in sales, we are gonna face objections. An objection is a statement or a reason for not moving forward, right? Mm-hmm. It's a negotiating tool or stalling tactic while people are trying to decide. They don't want to make a bad decision, right? They want to take advantage. So we're gonna help with those situations and talk about them specifically. Today, we've already set the stage for that. I've got your deal beat. I found a better price. Okay. Is today's world internet driven?
Sure is.
Are people online searching for price?
Yep.
And do they use the price of a car they don't want to negotiate for the price of the car they do want? Okay, so what makes this up? If you want to successfully overcome this buyer's fear of paying too much, I found a better deal. If you want to help overcome that fear and secure that sale, close that deal now in a way that the buyer feels good, you feel good, and you make a fair profit, you need a plan, and that plan begins with understanding your buyer. Mm-hmm. And buyers do negotiate with half-truths. Can I tell you something? I just said, I've got your deal beat last week to a salesperson. This is no joke. And I'll relate the story to you. I was passively looking for a new motorhome, very passively, when I stumbled upon a motorhome I really wanted at what I thought was an incredible pricing, right? Mm-hmm. And I used this very thing. I found one, by the way, the one that I found that I wanted was in Oregon. I found 4 or 5 more of the same model, but none of the other ones had the interior I wanted. So I found one in Pennsylvania that wasn't equipped or had the interior I wanted, but had a lower price. So I sent that advertisement to the dealer that I wanted to buy from and said, I've got your deal beat. I've got a lower price. In fact, it's closer to my home. I probably should just go there. Now, why would I do that? Why do buyers do that? To make sure they don't pay more than they have to. Listen, I want to have a win-win relationship with who I buy from. I don't even know how they price them. I don't know what the good deal is. It's hard to even know. Right. Half the stuff is made up. And so you're just trying to figure out and navigate that. And so most buyers will use a lower priced car, not even if it's the car they don't want, to talk about the car they do want. Does that make sense?
It does.
That's what I did, and it was effective. And people have been doing that for ages. People say, well, I can buy the same one over there. And of course, you pull it up, and it's the same year, make, and model, but it may be different color combinations, maybe different trim package, maybe even some different options. Mm-hmm. Maybe the condition is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
The history is different. The reconditioning is different from a set of tires or not, an old set of tires. So when people are talking about price, our mind has to go to value. Right? We've talked about that all the time. There's price of product and there's value. And that's a different subject. We'll talk about that. However, as a salesman, be prepared for this. I've got your deal beat. I have to think of what is a great deal and what makes it a great deal. Right? So I want to tell you, first of all, start with some knowledge. Dealers are using price. Dishonest newspaper advertisements are now today's dishonest internet advertisements, okay? When I was running the VW store, we have people come in and say, I found the same Jetta and for Chicago for this much, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I always ask myself, then why are you here, right? And they're here because they want to get it from me. They don't want to drive to Chicago, right, but they also don't want to overpay.
Right.
So they want to use the car they don't want to buy. So I got to remind myself there's value in the fact that I'm close to them, that they can see me. There's value in that they can see my car and they know my car, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of value in this whole thing. Right. By the way, what happens when they get to Chicago and look at the car?
I know.
Drive the car. What's the experience going to be like? What are the add-ons going to be like, right? So, by the way, to explain that, this dealer in Chicago had an environmental protection package you had to buy to get the car. So, of course, they always advertise their cars cheaper. And then you got there, and what did they do? Tack that on. Now, by the way, I know that some of these things are being regulated by law right now, but not all of them. And I'm telling you, some dealers are advertising minus these environmentals that you have to take. There's one big group around here that does that all the time, right? And there's great pressure on their sales staff to sell this stuff, to add this. And I've actually had managers tell me that I can't sell the car if I don't get it. Now, how do you tell a customer you can't buy the car for the price average? Right. It's happening at dealerships today. So don't assume that price they saw is real. So, by the way, this motorhome in Pennsylvania was cheaper. So I said, do you have any extra fees? He said, well, of course, we have the normal setup fees and, of course, destination, getting it from the factory to us. So I said, well, okay, how much are those? Well, I don't really know what they are. They're not an exact charge. They're not so we went into that dance. I know, okay. So he says, we're really aggressive, though. Anyway, he sent me a deal sheet with the price online and $7,000 in fees, okay, right? And then over the next few days, he proceeded to say, what if I can reduce my fee, right? And so I was out by then. Did I trust him anymore?
No.
So I'm just going to say that maybe you work at a dealership that advertises that way. You're going to have to come up with a strategy to keep your integrity and character alive as you talk to people at a distance. When people call in and say, I see your price is this, what do you have on it? Say, yeah, we really have a low price and we have this package that's so valuable that we put on our car. You have to be prepared to sell that value. Right. You don't want to mislead. Obviously, we would prefer that everybody was advertising what they could do more fairly and so that we have that integrity. But often, when buyers say they have their deal beat, they don't, but they don't even know they don't.
Right.
So sometimes I have to point out, folks, if you drive to Chicago, how many hours is that going to take? 4 hours there, 4 hours back. Are they going to be prepared for you? What's the car going to look like? What are they going to add to it? What are they going to do for your car? How are they going to handle the financing? I really don't know what's going to happen when you get there, but I do know what's happening here right now. Has my team done a good job, right? Understanding your goals, why you're here, what you're looking for, what you're trying to come. Have they done a good job helping you find the car? Have they taken time to show you the car, how it fits your lifestyle, offered you a test drive, even taking you through service to show you how we've got your back? All that matters. And when you add that up, you know you're getting a great deal, right? So there is value here that can be built. So when somebody says to you, I've got your deal beat, right? Mm-hmm. What do you say? We always start with empathy, right? Right? I get it. I'm the same way. I go online and I shop pricing too. Don't we all do that? That's the feel, felt, found we call empathy.
Right.
And we start with that empathy, absorbing it. Don't attack it right away. So, and then say you got my deal beat.
I got your deal beat.
Yeah, but do you really? What about the fees? And then now there's this debate. And so I don't want to, I want this relationship. They've chosen me or they wouldn't be talking to me. Maintain the relationship and give them the logical reason to say yes to you. So we just go right into our 5-step empathy, logic, redirect to value, reassure, and re-ask, don't we? And so if you're part of our training system and you're on our dealership playbook, you've learned some of right, our fast start, our internet phone sales, how to handle best price, win-win closing. Our training actually teaches this integrity and character-based turnaround. But it starts in your mind, and it starts with you knowing they chose you for a reason. And if that other deal was so great, why are they talking to you?
Right.
Why didn't they just go there? And I don't want to be that guy who says, why don't you just go there then and get it if that's such a great... That's so lazy and so weak. Why not just turn it around, right? And say, I know a good deal is a lot more than just price. And so we know there's trade, and we know there's payment, we know there's warranty, we know there's condition, we know there's equipment, we know there's so much that goes, there's financing, there's payments, there's so much that goes into this package that we want to redirect people from just one piece of the pie, which is price, to what?
The whole thing.
The whole package. And then when we redirect, so I get it, I'm the same way, I shop everywhere. Now the cool thing is about us, I know that we go online and we do what you do. We shop a competitor so we could price it competitively low right up front, probably why you called to begin with. And it's more than that, isn't it? It's not just the pricing, but it's our car, the history and the condition, the reconditioning that we do to the car. That's the redirect.
Right.
You got to go back and give them a reason to feel comfortable saying yes to you while creating doubt on that other deal. Does that make sense?
Job.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let me give you one other scenario. And you're in the dealership and you put down a deal sheet and the customer says, oh, I got a better deal than that. Most salesmen will say, well, is it on the same car? What's the customer going to say? No, your car is better. That's why I'm here. They always say yes. And now you go, oh, they got the same car. So don't say that. Or they might say, you got a deal sheet? You got it in writing? And now this battle begins. You got to stick to the training and use your 5-step resell re-ask. You got to let the buyer comfortably out of their half-truth, their lie. You got to let them out. And the only way to do is, right? I know. I'm the same way. I shop around. There's a lot of pricing out there, and a lot of people do the pricing a lot of different ways. You know what I found is you take a look at our pricing. I know we price them competitively low right up front. We shop the competition. And what's more than that, not only that, but you're getting the whole package. I mean, I got your back after the sale, but let's walk through the car and the benefits of this car. I can show you how this is, the whole financial package I'm offering is gonna be better, right? That's the confidence that you have. I really believe that great salesmanship is great conversation. It's not a bag of tricks. It's not a battle. It's not a head-on-head. Does that make sense? And so if you're facing, I've got your deal beat, first of all, in your mind, think, they probably don't. They may think they do, but they don't have all the information, or they're probably telling a half-truth just to make sure they're getting the best deal. Start with the right thinking. They chose you. They'd like to buy a car from you, but don't bank on that. Earn the right to ask them through your empathy and your logic and your redirecting the value, and of course, reassuring them, and lastly, asking them to buy again. Does that make sense?
It does.
So we know all buyers don't want to pay more than they have to. I mean, who does?
I don't.
I'm not mad at them. And I don't want to pay more than I have to. And in the case of a car, I'm in cars every day, but motorhomes I'm not in every day. And I think your buyers, like being in a motorhome, they buy a car every 2-3 years. They don't know about the new pricing models. They just don't know. And if you go online, I was shopping, looking at used cars, and I clicked on one used car, and it says, does not include our $950 fee, right? So another one I shopped on, I clicked and said, with your $2,000 trade. They're advertising the car after, right? So you have to be careful that you don't get sucked up into the price.
Right.
You keep focused on the fact that they probably saw that too, but they want to use what they have to make sure they've got the very best deal from you. maintain your character, maintain your integrity, and resell reads. Now, if you don't know how to do that, join us. Go to preparetowin.com and learn about. So this is the Prepare to Win podcast. We also have a training website called preparetowin.com, and it takes you to our whole suite of training. You'll see a way that you can become a partner with us. There's some free training modules on there if you want to see, hey, what does this training look like? I know we have a closing bundle that they can sign up for. You can sign up for right now and begin that training. If you like it, we'd love to talk to you or your dealership about how affordable and how effective our partnerships can be. We're so glad that you're joining us for this podcast, and we want to challenge you to be better today than yesterday. That's what it's about, right?
It is.
And when it means being better today than yesterday, it means being prepared. And if you're going to face something like, I got your deal beat, you have to be mentally prepared, and you have to practice that turnaround to make sure you can take care of it, right? Now, hey, in the coming episodes, we're going to talk about stuff like, all I need is a value on my trade, right? We're going to talk stuff like, I'm trying to trade down and lower my payment. We're going to talk about the tough situations you face and give you a strategy to face it with excellence, okay? All right, so do us a favor, like this episode, if you would, our podcast. And listen, if you've got a tough question, you want to know how to handle it, send it in to us, and we'll do an episode on it. We'll teach you exactly what to do to overcome it with excellence, okay? Good selling.